So a lot of people don't know this, but you actually styled the majority of your wigs for Drag Race. Now, did you go to cosmetology school or were you self-taught?
I actually don't believe in astrology, but thank you very much. Just kidding, I'm an Aries. I styled all my wigs. So it was the perfect season for me to be on.
And you got to
Be
meet
there
me.
with you. Oh, I absolutely would be back there in a heartbeat, and especially if you were there with me.
Oh, absolutely not.
Team Vivian Fears, let's do it.
Cut the camera. Hello, this is Miss Fierce Delicious with Queen Labs Network, and you're watching Drag Financial. Today's guest is a former contestant on season 3 of Canada's Drag Race. Their comedic timing, riveting personality, and vintage style left us an undeniable mark on the competition. When she left the competition, she left us wanting more. Welcome, my saboteur, VIVIAN VANDERPUSS. Well, if it isn't my outer saboteur, VIVIAN VANDERPUSS. How are you, baby?
I'm fabulous. I'm so excited to be here, darling.
I'm sure you are.
You look amazing.
I know. You look good. How are you? What have you been up to?
Oh my gosh, the cats have been keeping me busy, and I've just been, perusing the local vintage markets and doing a bit of traveling around Canada. It's been fabulous. Thanks, babes.
And now, have you sabotaged anyone lately?
Oh, almost on the daily. That's why I always carry some marbles around in my pockets, just in case
I'm
you need
sure.
to sabotage some people.
Sounds just like you. You were interviewed by the CBC Arts Channel. Can you let us know how they contacted you and how did you feel being interviewed by them?
It was so cool to be a part of that program. I think that it is an excellent, excellent program that highlights so many artists across Canada and such a diverse cast of artists that are all across Canada, drag artists. It was really fabulous being contacted by them, to be able to share my art. Of course, this was pre-Drag Race, and Irma Gerd was actually featured on there as well. And my drag sibling here in Victoria, Eddie Licious. It has an amazing cast of people, and would definitely suggest you check out Canada's a Drag on CBC.
So a lot of people don't know this, but you actually styled the majority of your wigs for Drag Race. Now, did you go to cosmetology school or were you self-taught?
I actually don't believe in astrology, but thank you very much. Just kidding, I'm an Aries. I styled all my wigs, and I learned most of my wig styling skills from actually watching James Mansfield videos on YouTube, and before that, online Kine, and just like looking things up, trial and error. It definitely saved so much money being able to do all of my own wigs, and I had kind of like a stockpile of wigs that I had kind of semi styled or had dreams of creating if I had ever gotten on the show. So I was able to knock a lot of that out, where I didn't do as much sewing, for my package. I did all of the wigs, and so it was really cool to be able to showcase that side of my drag as well.
So we had a bit of a rivalry on our season. Some would say, actually a lot would say, that you sabotaged me. Now, talk us through this process. What were you thinking when you thought, I need to sabotage Fierce Delicious so she doesn't win?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, the forefront in my mind was how, the first time I met you, actually, when we got around that table, I said, I don't know who this person is, but I know that I have to ruin their life.
She admits it.
And so I started planning on day one. I said, I was in my, hotel room typing at my typewriter because I had specially requested one, of course. And I drafted out the various plans and ways that I would sabotage you. My hotel room was filled with red string, and it was very, it was an elaborate plan, and I feel like I was really happy with how it came together. And, I think it was everything I could have ever dreamed of and more.
I'm sure it was. And you know what? Your plan worked because I have to lip sync for my life. But you can't get
didn't
rid
it
of
make you stronger? It's really like I just forged you down into something better. It's like,
Right. She was just looking out for me. She wanted a storyline for me.
a storyline.
She's a writer too.
Yeah.
She did sabotage me though. She admits it. Can you tell us what was going through your mind while you were auditioning for Drag Race and what were the requirements?
This was my third time auditioning for Drag Race, and I really just focused on like being myself. Of course, like when I'm Vivian, I amp it up a little bit, I ham it up a little bit. And yeah, so I really wanted to just focus on, the things about drag that bring me joy, because I feel like that is what kind of comes through me as Vivian, especially when I'm on the stage. And so I wanted to bring that same energy of when I was on the stage, or when I am on the stage, to my audition video. And so I really wanted to make sure that all of the places that I filmed were very indicative of the things that are in my life. As you can see, I like to surround myself with beautiful things, and
Like me.
so I really I just was like, the whole package for my audition tape was really like a reflection of every aspect of myself, from like the backgrounds to what was actually in the video, and yeah, I just had a lot of fun doing it.
Now, how long did it take you to prepare your package for the competition?
Like, honestly, they did not give us a ton of time. And so I was throwing it all together.
We actually got more time than the American girls. Like, Bretta just told me she got 2 weeks.
That's it, but then I can't even like understand how you would even like bring a package together in that amount of time. Like, that's absolutely insane to me. I feel like we could not have had any less time, in my own opinion. By the time you like coordinate like what you want everything to look like I designed all of my just about all of my looks. I illustrated all of them, and then I collaborated with designers on the construction and all that stuff. And I just feel like it was like I had two designers, Evan Clayton and Sean Melmus, like literally the night before they came onto the island, and were like sewing my like entrance costume like as the night before I left. So it was really down to the wire.
How long have you been doing drag before you auditioned?
So before the first year I auditioned, I guess before this third season, I had been doing drag for about 5-6 years. And so I felt like it was just, I auditioned every year. I felt like, if I'm doing it, I may as well do it. And if it's happening in Canada, I got to audition. But I feel like this third season, the year that happened, I felt like my drag was the most prepared that it had ever been. So it was the perfect season for me to be on.
And you got to meet
there with you.
Do you believe your local drag scene affected your access to top designers?
So I do live on Vancouver Island in the bustling metropolis of Victoria. And so there aren't a ton of designers here, but I did have my very fabulous friends, Chloe Prusa, who did, I believe, 3 or 4 of my looks, and then Jenny Mummery, who did 2 of my looks on the island, and they are so incredibly talented, and I was so blessed to be able to work with them. And then I had some designers from Vancouver, Evan Clayton and Sean Melmus, and then also my drag sister, Honey Do Me. She is very fabulous, and she helped me with some details, with my costumes, my streetwear look. She helped me sew those pants. And so it was definitely like a culmination of efforts, but even just getting materials onto the island, it's like we've got a fabric land, we've got a local fabric store as well. So we were, you got to work with what's in your area. You got to work with what you got.
So you made some of your looks and styled a bunch of your wigs. Do you think making your own stuff helped with financial burden?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only does it help like financially, but I think that when you have a piece and a part in the creations that you're showing the world, it really has like encapsulates a little bit of your personality, the essence of your drag, your soul, if you will. And so I was able to communicate that through hair, being that the vision exactly of what I, pictured, I could create that. And it was really the first time that I collaborated with, doing illustrations for costumes and having designers make them. That was really special and such a cool experience for me, and such a it's so neat to be able to bring an illustration to life like that. And so that was really cool. But definitely the more you can do yourself, and this just goes across the board when you're just starting out in drag, or if you're doing it for a long time, it always helps with costs, but it helps to inject a little bit more of your drag spirit into your drag.
If you were asked to come back and compete on Drag Race, would you? Why or why not?
Oh, I absolutely would be back there in a heartbeat, and especially if you were there with me.
Oh, absolutely not.
Team Vivian Fears, let's do it.
Cut the camera. What advice would you give to any local or aspiring drag artists honing in their craft?
I would just encourage people that are just starting drag to try a little bit of everything. You're not going to know if it really resonates with you unless you kind of dip your toes into it. And also don't be afraid to like be messy. I think there's this pressure of being like perfect right off the bat, and there's just such a beauty and such a there's just so much fun in being like a little messy, you know, be a little booger for a while, and really feel out what you love. And also, it's not about how much you spend, it's how much you save.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with our weekly content. And don't forget to hit the like button and leave us a comment below to let us know who you want to see next. And if you want early or exclusive content, make sure to support us here. Now click here to see the next part of our interview.